I've never heard of such a thing.
For real? Of
No,
course
it's
you
not
have.
true.
You jest with me, I'm sure. So anyway, this is what I came up with today. So while people are shuffling, well, if I'm shuffling for myself, I have two, the last line could be said two different ways. So if I'm shuffling for myself, here's how it would go. Tarot cards, please reveal to me what my eyes alone fail to see. Reveal now what I need to know in order to expand and grow. And if I was reading for somebody else, that last line would be to help others expand and grow. What do you think?
I like that. So
It just kind of popped into the old noggin today.
I want you to chant that while I shuffle the cards.
Tarot cards, please
Well, wait a
reveal
minute.
to we.
Okay, you can do it that way too. But I'm
I
gonna,
could.
there's a political, not a political, an
Uh-oh.
event happening that I really want to get a reading on. It's not political. Sorry, I didn't.
Is
mean
it
to say that.
national or something else?
It's global.
Okay, because we do have a fantasy forecast later, but if you want.
Well, I was gonna just ask in general about the forest fire in Brazil.
Oh, I
Do you think I should wait for that?
No, because we're going to pick a card at random for that. So if
Yeah.
you'd like to do it
Yeah.
now, you're getting an extra fantasy forecast
And
today.
so it's not really a fantasy.
It's too real.
It's fiery.
Actually.
It's not fantasy.
A
It's
fiery
fiery.
forecast. Oh man.
So
what
my
is your question?
basic question is, will this end soon?
The forest fires?
The forest fires in Brazil.
Are you doing a yes/no question?
Yes, I'm
then?
going to do a yes or no. So I want you to say the chant while I
Tarot
think of that
cards,
question.
please reveal to we what my eyes alone fail to see. Reveal now what I need to know in order to expand and grow. Tarot cards, please reveal to we what our eyes alone fail to see. Reveal now what we need to know in order to expand and grow. Tarot cards, please reveal to we what our eyes alone fail to see. Reveal now what we need to know so that we can expand and grow.
And I asked the yes or no question. Will the forest fires in the Amazon and Brazil areas end soon? And so this is the 3-ace method of yes or no's, where I turn over cards until I either hit the number 13 or an ace, whichever's first. So in my first pile, I hit 13, and we did not get an ace, but we got the Page of Swords. So pile 2. And on the second card, I got my ace, the Ace of Swords. So I can now move to pile 3 and start over again.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Banshee says, ooh.
Oberon says, ooh. So my third and final card, the 13th card on the third pile, is Judgment. Upright. So now I'm going to give you my synopsis here, or my reading here, and then of course Banshee will give her
I will
feelings over
chime
it.
in, as always.
I wanted to make a joke about how your face rings a bell, not a chime.
Where is your chime today? Oh, that's right. You're
We're
not,
not
doing,
doing
a
a
meditation.
Okay, so we only got one ace, which means we only have a 1 out of 3 chance of the answer being yes. And the question I ask is, will this forest fire end soon? So it does not look likely, which is a really sad thing here. Of course, everybody would like it to end very soon. But my cards are saying maybe it won't. There's a Page of Swords which to me signifies grace and diplomacy. And so I'm going to say that this card seems to relate to the idea of folks who are willing to try to meter out this situation, to try to bring reason to the situation, balance. It may not be enough in this situation, but they're trying to be the most diplomatic, graceful, tactful voices that are out there. In general, this Page of Swords has an element of being verbally articulate and able to present ideas. So we need this kind of person or this kind of energy around a number of people to be able to articulate these things, why it's important, why we have to work together. The ace itself is merely the gauge of the amount of yes I have in my reading, and it's the Ace of Swords, which is always about an undertaking, and of course trying to correct this wrong is quite the undertaking. But my final card, which we both said, ooh, was the Judgment card upright. And the Judgment card seems to indicate that there's an emphasis on more lofty matters. There's an emphasis on whether or not spiritual matters can be ascendant in the situation, that maybe this is truly the time to pray or to really think about where we need to take this to really solve this kind of a problem, and that we need to move to a higher power, whether that higher power is a god or goddess or gods that we worship or that we appeal to, or whether the higher power is within ourselves, or whether the higher power is the government that should be working with us or should be working with the people of Brazil. And so these are the kind of things that need to happen, is that perhaps somebody with diplomacy and grace and tact needs to speak truth to that power, that higher power, whatever it is, working for us, and try to get all hands on deck to resolve this problem. Banshee?
Well, Mr. O, you are certainly playing with fire with this one, really. So the Page of Swords to me is showing that I feel that beyond diplomacy, it seems to me we need somebody to go in there and help. I think that, they need to ask for help if they haven't. Somebody needs to rush in. There needs to be hasty news and messages that go to the leaders of Brazil saying, do you need assistance? Do you need our help? And governments offering help and assistance, which is sorely needed here. And the Judgment card, well, it's kind of like a reckoning is coming. And it also says, well, Judgment upright is better than reversed. However, it is a card cautioning that what we sow, we will reap. And so, we have put ourselves in a very difficult situation with the climate, not managing the climate and the earth properly, possibly even the rainforests. There's been a lot of deforestation going on in the rainforests anyway, which has been very harmful. And now we've got, deforestation by wildfire, and this could have serious, severe implications for us all. And we, as a world and as a people, as if it was, the final judgment, need to come together to solve this crisis. And it is a crisis. It is not just another forest fire.
Well, I tried to be a little bit more lofty-minded, but I think Banshee kind of goes to the heart of the matter here and reveals on that level of the physical what's going on.
Well, one could argue it's a no, and there are positive cards, so there is hope in that if people can pull themselves together and do what it takes to try to solve this, yes. But on the other hand, these are also very harsh cards in their own way. Swords are cutting. They're cutting cards. And also Judgment is what it is. It's like, it's your karma, and it's our collective karma here at work. And so there's a lot of heaviness in this reading, I feel. That's why I went the route I did.
I agree with you in a way, but I also think you have to remember that judgment is really about an awakening. It may not always be a spiritual
Well,
awakening.
it is going to be awakening,
It's
all
an
right?
awakening. This is like oh my gosh, we have been asleep for way too long to let this stuff happen. The question is whether or not our woke nature will allow us to affect change.
And remember, what we're saying here is it wasn't a definite no, number one. It's leaning towards no. So the bottom line is there is room for change here. There is room for possible fixing this.
Alrighty.
Well, I want to say I'm glad you asked that question, but I'm not sure. Just because it's such a, it's tough.
Is this the part where somebody says, Conrad, I'm glad you asked that question.
And half the world won't know who Comrade is.
Mr. Belvedere.
Right, who's known locally.
Yes.
I wonder if they know him in Brazil or Spain or England.